everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We are switching over from Hallmark. We're talking about HBO Max today. And they're really strong 4 movies. Well, we're talking about 3 of them, but they've had 4 really strong Christmas movies. And it's been a lot of fun to watch them, a lot of variety. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Natasha Alvarez here.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's great. It's going good.
Yeah. You know, when we saw that they were going to be doing 4 Christmas movies on HBO Max, I was like, I don't know. Are these going to be any good? And they had, of course, Christmas Story Christmas that that we already covered on Christmas Story episode with Aaron Taylor. So you should check that out. We'll put that link in the description. And so that started things off on a great foot, in my opinion. I thought it was really solid. And then we had these 3 movies come out Thanksgiving weekend, and I really enjoyed all 3. Well, the third one came out on the 3rd, I think, 2nd, something like that. Anyway, and I really enjoyed all of them. So I'm going to have a lot of fun talking about them, but let's dive in.
Yeah.
Were they surprising to you that they were all so good?
Well, I remember last year we did we do this last year? We had a Christmas movie thing and you recommended 8-bit Christmas.
Oh yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like that kind of set the tone, right? Because I was
True.
like, okay, if they can do that, I think it's not gonna be so bad, right? But I was kind of like, because I think we were watching a whole bunch of Christmas movies leading up to it, right?
Right.
And then the first movie I was like, please be good. And once the first movie was really good, then I was like, yes, I was invested. Yeah. So that was great.
You're like, I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, it's true. The first movie was really good. And I was scared in the preview. I think I might have given it a sock because I was worried about some things in the plot, but I thought they did a good job with it. And anyway, the summary is it's called Holiday Harmony. The summary is a likable and talented underdog gets momentarily sidelined from chasing her musical dreams when her van breaks down in a welcoming small town just before Christmas. And this stars Annalise Sapero, Jeremy Sumpter, and Brooke Shields in the movie. And you've already said a little bit, but overall, what do you think about this?
Oh, I loved it. I think out of the 3, it's my favorite. Yeah, I'm so sad that I didn't write a review for it. Because now if you look on Rotten Tomatoes, I think it has 1 like rotten review and 1 fresh. So I because on the site we can only write reviews within the week. So I didn't manage to write a review for it. And I feel really sad because I should have gotten my fresh review in there, Yeah. But I really
for
enjoyed it.
Culture Vultures, you have to write it within the week.
Yeah, within movies within the week of release. So
that's a bummer.
So if it's beyond, then I can't write.
And are you only approved on Culture Vultures for Rotten Tomatoes, or?
That is true. I'm not there. I because now
I'll be uploading this very thing.
Yeah.
I'm approved for Hallmarkies podcast. So
yes,
there'll be another positive coming up.
That's great. Yeah. But it has like a 91% like audience score. So I think it's doing well. It's doing well on that front. Yeah.
Well, I'll boost it as much as I can. I promise y'all. Because this was really good. I really liked it. And I was looking on Letterboxd, and some of the critiques I do not think are fair. I really don't. I thought they had really strong chemistry. And the thing I was the most worried about this movie is I thought, oh, she's going to not do the iRadio thing because she's like committed to the kids that she's known for 2 weeks, and it's like, oh no, but they didn't do that. She goes and she tries, and there was somebody on Letterboxd who was all saying like, oh, she gave up her dreams for a guy she barely met. I'm like, no, she didn't. She went, she tried it. It wasn't for her. She didn't like it. And so then she went and found a new way that she is going to play music going forward.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing about her character is that it was not really about the Hollywood thing, right? She just loved singing and making music and connecting with people, because
Mm-hmm.
that was the only kind of connection she had. That was like for most of her life. So I found it believable that she
Yeah.
would go there and be like, this isn't working for me. I mean, there's so many ways to make music now. There's
Yeah,
YouTube, right?
especially with TikTok and there's lots of ways that people are getting their music out there and
Yeah.
and self-producing and finding like managers that are reasonable. I mean, the one part of me was thinking, did iHeartRadio actually read the script? Because they don't come off looking great. They
Well, I
kind of
mean,
look like jerks.
well, just I guess the management, right? Those particular like
Yeah.
people who was like doing things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, and if you would be pretty sloshed if you took a shot every time they say iHeartRadio in this
Yeah.
movie.
Well, thank God I wasn't playing that drinking game.
Yeah. So she's driving this old Volkswagen van that she's added like a bed to. It's like really a camper.
Yeah.
And it breaks down. It's going to cost $2,600 to repair. And Brooke Shields plays like the tough mechanic who has the dreamy son.
Yes. Oh God. So good. So good.
Yeah. Yeah, and I loved that. I thought they had such good chemistry. I was like living for her hair. I thought her hair was so beautiful the whole movie. And then when they put her at the iHeartRadio place, they put her in like
Yes.
straight hair. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, what are you doing? Because it looked beautiful. I mean, I have curly hair myself, so whenever we get curly hair representation, I'm always happy.
Yeah.
Her hair
She's
was
beautiful. She's
oh,
beautiful. Yeah.
absolutely beautiful. And then when
Yeah.
she sang "Poor Wayfaring Stranger" at the bar, and she's like, "It's good enough for Johnny Cash. It's good enough for me." I was like, "Wow." Her voice was beautiful, I thought.
Yes. Yes. I think that's what added another layer to the movie. Like the singing was really good, and
Mm-hmm.
like when he looks at her when she sings, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I
Yeah.
probably looking the same way, like the exact same expression on my face. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so yeah. He was really good. He was like,
Yeah.
I was invested.
Swoon. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, like that scene where he cries to his mom.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember? Like, oh, when
Yeah.
or
Oh,
when
yeah.
he has to when he makes that choice. Yeah.
So his brother was at a concert with him, and he kind of gave him his keys and said go, because he wanted to stay a little bit longer.
For
And
Coldplay.
a Coldplay,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
And
Coldplay, right?
then
Yeah.
his brother, it was a fall asleep, or anyway, he died in a car crash. And
Yeah.
so he lives with all of this guilt of like the person that his brother could have been, and if he had just gone with his brother and not just given him the keys, he has all of this heavy guilt. And there's this studio in their house that he's left everything the same from when his
Yeah.
brother, which I thought was all done really well, was moving.
Yeah. Um yeah, I think it's like really the performance like that really kind of sells it. Like you feel his pain.
Mm-hmm.
You feel his torment, over I think pushing his brother down a career that he might not have wanted, wanting that fame and that Hollywood kind of life, right? So he felt that, what did he push his brother in a direction that was not something that he wanted, right? Because he said his brother was doing a lot of like work and very tired, and then that kind of led to this moment, right? So and you can kind of understand why he goes on a social media cleanse. I think that's like the theme this season or something: social media,
Yeah, that's
no
true.
phones, or something like that.
We know
Yeah,
that cell phones are the thief of love, so it makes sense. What I always say.
Yeah, so I thought and I guess the way it unfolds, the way it was revealed to us and to her
Mm-hmm.
as well. um how do you feel about the I guess the secondary love interest? Not she's not a love interest, I guess, the obstacle.
Yeah. Well, first of all,
What's her
he's like
name?
a total cinnamon roll guy. He's like very, very thoughtful. And then the first scene where they're at the bar, he like gives her his coat, his jacket, and I don't know, just he's very, very tender, sweet. And so that's endearing to
Yeah.
him. And then yes, there's this other woman who is pining after him. I forget her name, but
Is it Scarlet?
Scarlet.
Yeah.
So uh she wants him, and he's not really that interested, but he hasn't ever really told her flat out no, it seems like.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just kind of, I think he thinks, oh, we're just friends, or he just hasn't dealt with it as a situation.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, I don't know. What did you think of her character?
Um, I guess she was just there for the conflict.
Yeah.
Like I don't think she had much of an arc. uh I did feel sorry for her. I don't know. Like I think I know what it's like to like pine after someone and,
Yeah.
and just like have them like just completely ghost you, right? Like they don't
Hmm.
see you in that way. It's heartbreaking. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they could have had
yeah,
her be like the ice queen kind of a thing, like the wrong girl, but they didn't. I mean, and like he is partly at fault because I don't think he has ever told her like flat out no,
correct.
not
Yeah.
interested in you.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Also have her becoming the interim music teacher in at the school, and there's only 5 students, so I could understand why they're thinking of closing down the program if there's really only 5 students. I can understand that. But yeah, their kids were cute. Like the one kid that's like a rapper, that was funny. I
Yeah.
thought, and the one
There's
kid
two of
who's
them,
like
right?
the one kid that's like super shy.
Oh, the singer.
Hmm. She
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
Yeah.
even she doesn't even know that she's in the classroom at first, and she thinks everybody's left, and then this like
Yeah.
super shy
Yeah.
little girl, that was cute.
Yeah.
So she's trying to teach them about like deep breathing and how to sing and everything, and it was cute.
Yeah. I think if I had to like say basically had to critique a section, I think the kids part I think was I guess out of the whole entire narrative, right? I think everything else was really strong. I felt like
Hmm.
I guess maybe more kids, I don't know. I guess the 5 kids and I think one kid who can't sing
Yeah.
at all. And I'm like,
I think that's
like yeah,
also very COVID-y. I'm sure in the original edition of this script, there was a bigger class with more
I think
people.
so. Yeah.
But it's particularly kids during COVID. You don't want them to get sick. They're more likely to get sick, and all that stuff. So I would bet money that it was originally planned to have a bigger class, a bigger production, a bigger concert, all of
Yeah.
that. But I'm guessing that was the problem. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I at least I'm glad that again that they had her actually go and full on try out and do it, and decide to come. It wasn't I hate in these kind of movies when you have somebody giving the presentation at the office and they like stop all of a sudden. They're like, I have to leave now,
Yeah.
whatever. Like they go to the recital or what. I hate that. That's so cringe. But they didn't do that here. They didn't.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yeah. And yeah, I agree. I think she tried and she saw that it's not her. And I think she realized, I think dreams can change along the way.
Yeah.
Like I think in life you're not always going to be wanting the same things. So I think, like, being in this space with these people made her realize that she wanted something a
Yeah.
bit different.
I
Yeah.
agree.
So
Well,
I think
and
it's
she
okay.
still wants to sing. She's just doing it in a different way that's like more her and speaks to her as a person. So I don't think
Yeah.
there's anything wrong with that. They do have the scene where so Scarlett comes over and pretends like she's nice, and they start putting up all the stuff from the brother in the studio. And so then he comes in and he gets very upset about it.
Yeah.
He's really mad,
Yeah.
and then he starts to pretty quickly. He starts to feel bad, and he talks to his mom, and he's like, "I feel bad that I got so upset."
Yeah.
And they have this cute apology with the kids, apology
Yeah.
song. It was cute.
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I like is that he always apologizes
Yeah, and pretty quick.
after. Yeah, and he doesn't, like, just let it linger and doesn't say anything. Like, I think when the first time he meets her, he's kind of judgmental.
Yeah.
And then after that, when he's driving her back, he's like, I'm sorry that I was like that. So I was just like, wow, that's nice that you can have someone do that. Yeah.
It's true. They, in that sense, the relationship felt very real, that, people make mistakes and you say you're sorry and then you move on. And it was cute in front of the kids, and then they kiss in front of the kids, which was really cute. I loved that.
Yeah.
And then we get this whole scene where they're making her self-tape basically for iHeartRadio. And that was fun.
That was so dreamy.
It really
that
was.
scene, right?
Yes. And of course, it all culminates with our exciting night together.
This movie was not afraid to bring the heat.
Yes, it's not on Hallmark anymore. Right?
But all I was thinking about is how badly his hand must hurt from holding the camera up and crouched down like this.
Well, I was just thinking, like, it would be really hard. Not only is that bed teeny tiny, but like you only have maybe 2 feet of air, 2.5, in between, in the top of the van. It's pretty cramped in there. I mean, I think about these things. I'm sorry.
I did not think about I did not think about it. Maybe they weren't in like the van. They could have, like,
I mean, they
there's
wake
like a whole
up in the
garage,
van,
right?
so it definitely happened there. But and then he
starts
finds,
there.
he finds her journal.
Oh yes, yeah.
And in there, she's like writing, and how rude for him to read her obvious personal journal, but he does. And she has these things about whether she should stay or whether she should go. And he gets kind of huffy about that.
Yeah. I think because he realizes that he doesn't want her to stay because of him, right? He doesn't want her to miss out on her dream. Yeah.
He's like, there's nothing here for you.
Yeah. Oh, it was so sad. I mean, this man can cry. Like, he cries like really well, like in a way that you feel so sad for him, Yeah.
Well, and I have to say about the steamy part, like he kept giving her his jacket, and so then she's like, it's time we take off some jackets. So
yeah. You're like, yes, screenwriter, very good. Good job.
So we get this whole scene where Scarlett comes in, she apologizes, they kiss, and Gail, that's her name, Gail, overhears him say, you've always got a place in my heart. And the thing is that he's saying that as, but I don't want to, pursue you. I don't want to be with you. But she thinks, oh, he's with her. So she gets mad. And then they have a fight. And then she leaves to go to iHeartRadio. And he says to his mom, I couldn't be the reason she stayed. I had to let her go, which is really corny, but great.
Yeah. He and Brooke Shields had really good like mother-son energy, It was so sweet.
That's what I wrote. So sweet and endearing.
Yeah.
And so there's this other country music singer there at iHeartRadio. And they've like turned it's ridiculous. They've turned poor Gail into this. She's got like spikes on her jacket. Her hair is smooth. I don't know what she's singing up there. And so she gets very upset and she goes into the bathroom and she's like crying. And this famous singer person says to her that the big question is, do you want this? And he says, that's all I've ever wanted. But they want to change everything about her. And they want to change her name.
Yeah. That was
I forget what the name was, but it wasn't Gail.
Yeah, because they say Gail's like a wind, right? Or something.
Yeah. I wrote down, this is a weird ad for iHeartRadio. Kind of makes them look terrible.
Yeah.
So she calls Brooke Shields and it says, we're here for you. You have family. Harmony Springs is here for you. And then this country singer person says, you've got to hang on tight to what makes you you. And she agrees to help her get back to Harmony Springs, which is very sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I think they played it off well, in a sense that I think this person had a prior investment in her because she saw her original song, right? And she was like, she really enjoyed like her performance, her singing, right? Maybe she has her own story. Maybe she saw something similar. Like, I mean, I can believe it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then so she goes back and it helps the kids with the performance. And then Rosemary says, I haven't met one single human who hasn't loved you. Just very sweet.
Yeah.
And I think it was Brooke Shields who says the whole love her, let her go thing doesn't work every time.
Yeah.
Which is good.
It's nice. It's good. Yeah.
And then he says, I took Parker, his brother, from his dream. I couldn't do that to you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where he's coming from, which makes sense. That's why these are well-written characters.
Yeah. It makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. And she says, I'm going to stick around, keep teaching if they'll have me. And the kids are like rapping and having fun. And Harmony Springs, of course, wins the contest.
Yeah. I didn't really believe that.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Sure.
But then she sings and it goes viral, of course. And they get her vans all fixed up and ready to go. And then she also sets up the studio, Parker's studio. And they're going to be together. And it's just really cute. So yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I definitely would watch it again. I don't know. I give it like a 4.25. What would you give it?
Yeah, I'm at a 4.
Mm-hmm.
I like you. I really, really enjoyed it, and I definitely would watch it again. I think even just for the singing, right? She sounds so good. Yeah, she's so good.
Yeah, good singing and good chemistry, and I mean, just what else could you want in a movie like this? Not much. I mean, it's not much changed. It's really good. Maybe make Scarlet a little bit more nuanced, but that I really enjoyed it. So I think most of our listeners would have a good time with it. So We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Baker Publishing Group. They have a special deal right now. If you go to their website, bakerbookhouse.com/featured/Hallmarkies and enter code Hallmarkies40, that you will get 40% off any of the books that we're talking about today. And today we are talking about sweet historical romances. This is the perfect book for the hearty in your life. If you have a fan of When Calls the Heart, they will love these books. First, let's start with Under the Starry Skies by Tracy Peterson. When an accident leaves Cassandra Barton incapacitated, she spends her time compiling a book of stories about the men working on the Santa Fe Railroad. But worry grows as revolutionaries set out to destroy the railroad. As danger intensifies, Cassie and her longtime friend Brandon must rely on their faith to overcome the obstacles that stand in the way. Next, A Model of Devotion by Mary Connolly. A brilliant engineer, Jilly Stiles, sets her focus on fulfilling her dream of building a mountaintop railroad and remaining independent. But when a cruel and powerful man goes to dangerous lengths to try to make Jilly his own, marrying her friend Nick may be the only way to save herself and her dreams. Next, A Daughter's Courage by Misty M. Beller. Charlotte Durand sets out on an expedition in search of a skilled artisan who can repair a treasured chalice. But her hike becomes much more daunting when a treacherous snowstorm sets in. When Damien Levette finds Charlotte stranded, they must work together to survive the peril of the mountains against all odds. A Gem of Truth by Kimberly Woodhouse. Longing for a fresh start, Julia Schultz takes a job as a Harvey girl at the El Tovar Hotel, where she's challenged to be her true self. United by the discovery of a legendary treasure, Julia and master jeweler Christopher Miller find hope in each other. But when Julia's past catches up with her, will she lose everyone's trust? Then The Lady of Galway Manor by Jennifer Dybel. In 1920 Galloway, amid the Irish War of Independence, the daughter of a British landlord becomes an apprentice jeweler to the descendant of the creator of the famed Claddagh ring. As the two learn to work together and see each other in a new light, they start to uncover the true meaning of love, loyalty, and friendship. And finally, The Secrets of Emberwild by Stephania H. McGee. Nora Fenton inherits a struggling horse farm and a dangerous secret from her father, one that new horse trainer Silas Cavallero threatens to uncover as he searches for the truth behind his own father's death. As the two grow closer over their shared passion for horses, the mysteries and dangers of the past loom closer than ever. So head over to bakerbookhouse.com/featured/Hallmarkies to pick up one of these great books and use code Hallmarkies40 for 40% off these titles from November 14th to December 12th. That's bakerbookhouse.com/featured/Hallmarkies and use code Hallmarkies40 for 40% off. Talk about a Christmas mystery. And this is when her best friend's dad is falsely accused of stealing the town's prized jingle bells. A young amateur sleuth and her friends must find the real thief before Christmas. And this stars Violet McGraw, Santino Bernard, and Eddie Cibrian in it, and Beau Bridges is in it. So great cast. And overall, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I liked it. It's a cute movie. Yeah.
It's so cute. I think that families will love this movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very Nancy Drew vibe. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, and like it was nice too because it had there's like boy characters and girl characters, and like I just think the whole family, there's teenage characters, everybody could like this movie.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
The only thing that I struggled with is sometimes I was a little bit confused of which child belonged to which adult. It was a little confusing sometimes to me. I'm like, oh, is that girl Eddie Cibrian's kid or the other person's kid? And I felt like I needed one of those flow charts to put it all together.
It's like how I remembered it was like all the girls are with Eddie, right? And then all the boys are with the bottoms. Right?
So there's the single mom as well who has kids, right? There's Eddie Cibrian, and then so let's see here. Let me see if I can get this right.
There's a single mom.
There's a single
Wait.
Yes. I'm telling you, it's confusing. So there's okay. So you start out with the mystery of Jimmy Stubbins and the Golden Jingle Bells. I mean, you could make a claim that this movie is not that Christmassy, but the big way that they try to kind of make it Christmassy is this sort of legend of the Jingle Bells.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And so basically this legend, the drought had shut down the lumber mill. Everybody was sad. Jimmy finds the golden jingle bells and it becomes kind of the town's good luck charm.
Yep.
And they say there will always be non-believers, but don't let them rob you of your belief.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
That's kind of sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was some little HBO Max hints in here, like, can we make popcorn and watch the Batman?
Yeah, I wrote that down. I was like, wow, Warner Brothers. Smooth. Is Elf also their property? Because they mentioned Elf as well.
Yeah, they did mention Elf. I
Yeah.
don't know for sure on that one.
Yeah.
But basically Eddie Cibrian is her dad, the little girl's dad.
Yeah.
And he's also
Violet.
sheriff.
Yes.
And so then the bells are stolen.
Mhm.
And everybody's all upset because, and particularly the mayor, who is Beau Bridges, that he's going to be doing this whole big ceremony of the bells. And if they're not found within like the weekend for the ceremony, then everybody's going to freak out.
Yeah.
And then there's also this guy that works with Eddie Cibrian's character in the jailhouse.
The deputy?
The deputy. That's right. That's the word.
Yeah. Terry.
And so then there's this so there's this guy George. So Eddie Cibrian talks to him, and I think he is the boyfriend of this single mom person. What is her name? I should find her name. Oh, is she? See, no, I guess, or she's the ex-wife. I think of her name is Margaret Bottoms.
She's the mom. She's the mom.
The mom.
Yeah.
But I don't
Of
think
the
they're
Bottoms
together.
family.
They're separated, aren't they? Am I just insane? Maybe I'm crazy. I thought that she was single.
I thought they're together because is it because like she left them alone? But they're living in the same house and everything.
They are? I thought they were.
She comes back home, she makes the dinner, and then like she goes off for her shift.
Yeah, for some reason I am losing it. I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought that they were like boyfriend girlfriend, but you're right. They have the same last name. So anyway, it's confusing.
I mean, it's been
like,
more.
Which kids are belonging to which adults?
Rachel, you have watched 85 movies. There's probably a single mom somewhere. Somewhere there.
So basically, George has a previous arrest. And so when the bells are stolen, they think that he did it because of his previous arrest, and that he is the keys. The keys to the school, right?
To the museum.
Yeah, the museum. And then there's also Oscar Nunez's character, and he's like running the museum, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And they think he might be a suspect.
Yeah.
And he's got all the money, and what's he trying to do? But that's a red herring because he's just giving it to the shelter or whatever.
Yeah, correct.
And yeah, I was writing down, I'm like, I'm a little confused. Which kids belong to which adults? But so then you have the kids on the bike looking for clues. Like it had a very independent streak to it. I really enjoyed like all of these kids. I thought the lead girl was great. And it reminded you of times when kids were had a little more freedom to go out and just be by themselves and pursue their own things and own desires. And that's always fun. And then what did I mean there with O-N? This one sec. Oh, Oscar Nunez. Okay, yeah. So they follow Oscar Nunez and with him giving the money, but that all doesn't go anywhere. And they have 3 suspects: the mayor, Oscar Nunez, and George. And then they there's also this teen boy and girl that start talking.
Harrison, is it something?
Yeah. And that the teen girl's mom died of cancer.
Yeah.
So then I figured out, oh, she's Eddie Cibrian's daughter. And we think, oh, Oscar Nunez was at a casino, so he's like a suspect, but again, that doesn't really go anywhere. And the teenager wants to talk to the mom, and she says that she would just see her as just some dumb kid and wouldn't listen. But then the girl sees white sneakers in the bag at the station, so this starts her going.
Yeah.
And this is when Deputy Terry becomes involved.
Yeah.
Were you suspect of him initially?
Yes.
Yes.
Because of the chocolate.
Tell us about
the candy scene. Like when Violet comes into the police station, and then she's always there, right? Because her dad's the sheriff, and she's always hanging around there. And then she comes in and she goes for the candy, right? And her father is like, no, you got dinner and stuff, right?
Yes.
And Deputy Terry like sneaks her a piece of candy, and I'm like,
oh, so that was your big tip. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was like, not respecting boundaries, I think, of yeah. So that kind of tipped me off.
But I think he was they did a pretty good job with the red herrings.
Yes.
Like I was surprised. I was like, oh, okay. Look at Deputy. That was really surprising. So then there's like all of this thing. They find this map to the Department of Public Works in Terry's stuff, and they start to begin to suspect him. And then they go underground. And I thought it was funny when the one brother is like, stay behind me, and the girl's like, that's sexist, but we need to keep going. That was cute. It was funny. It was a well-written script. They did a good job.
Yeah, I would watch like another movie with Violet and Kenny. They are so good. Oh man, and then in the future, like a rom-com.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was thinking, oh, this thing's gonna be boring. This is just not it's gonna be for like kids and whatever.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it way more than I expected, even though I was confused about which kids went to which parents. So they go back and forth. And Terry says that he wanted to be a hero and find the bells because his dad is the mayor and always putting him down and everything. And then there's this big chase. They end up putting Terry in the cage. George gets released. And that's when we find out that so then Terry has this talk with his dad, played by Beau Bridges. And that was sweet, actually.
Yeah.
And then the teens get together at the end, and we get the ringing of the bells. It's back.
Yeah.
And so everybody's kind of made up at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the guy playing Terry, right? He's really good at doing the switch.
Yeah, he
from
was.
like, right, from like good guy Terry to like suddenly like, oh,
Yes.
this the guy who planned this entire scheme, right? So that was cool. But I was thinking that what is his play? Like at the end when the kids have discovered him already, he can't do anything. He's not gonna murder them.
Right.
I'm like, he's chasing after them, and I'm like, dude, like give it up. Like, what are you gonna do to them? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I guess this guy that played Terry, Christoph Sanders, I guess he was on Last Man Standing for 186 episodes. So
Wow. Yeah,
yeah,
he's cute and kind of funny,
yeah,
I guess.
he was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
He was good because yeah, you're right. Obviously, like they're not going to have children in serious peril in
Yeah.
these movies, but they made it tense enough. There was enough like running and chases and things like that to make it worth it. And basically, like his plan was to take the bells to the bell ringing ceremony and be like, look, I saved it, I found them, or whatever. I think that was his plan, and everybody be like, oh, our hero, we love you.
Yeah. But framing another man in
Yeah.
in the process.
Yeah. Poor George. uh, so this is a lot of fun. If you like mysteries and like something like Harriet the Spy, I think, like I said, this has something for everybody in the whole family. I'll definitely be doing this one of these days for family movie night because I think it's like a perfect film to watch with the family. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd give a 4 out of 5.
Yeah. Actually, now I'm kind of regretting. I think I should go higher on Holiday Harmony because I think this is about a 4, and I think Holiday Harmony is probably higher at like
Well,
a
you can change. It's okay.
4.25.
4.25. Okay, good.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
This one is called A Hollywood Christmas. And this is a successful Christmas movie director begins living her own Christmas movie when a handsome network exec shows up threatening to halt production on her latest film. This is director Alex Rivello and writer John Ducey. It stars Jessica Vann, Josh Swickard, and Anissa Borrego. So this movie was such a pleasant surprise. It's interesting because we already had Lights, Camera, Christmas from Hallmark Channel. So comparing it to this, I think this one's a little bit better. This one definitely like goes for the jokes, like more than that one does. Like I said in my review of Lights, Camera, Christmas, that like there were things they could have done to make it even funnier, like have it be in the summer, and then be in like all the people in shorts and t-shirts except for the the main cast in the coats and everything. And this movie went for it. It did that. And it was fun because I just visited the Warner Brothers lot in August, so it was fun to see. There's Warner Brothers tour to see this whole thing was filmed and done at Warner Brothers.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all done there. And I don't know, I just thought it was really funny. And I loved Anissa Borrego as Rena. I think that she like lives on the lot in this movie. She never seems to be going home. And I just thought she was so funny the whole time. She's like, that's just like a Christmas movie. No wonder you're not. you got to fall in love now or whatever. And then
Yeah.
I thought she was really good to me.
Yeah. She's our Christmas movie Sherpa. Basically,
Yes.
she's like, guys, we're gonna get there. Yeah, she was really cute and like whimsical, you know,
Yeah.
and she had the whole Christmas vibe going. So I really enjoyed her character.
Yeah, she was very funny, and it's very like meta, and I do think you enjoy this movie more the more invested you are in these TV movies. Like a lot of the jokes.
Yes.
I mean, it starts out with this, so it's this cupcake Christmas place, this cupcake Christmas movie, and they've got all the men in suits, so we're evicting you, and she's like, at Christmas? Yes. And the guy keeps sneezing, and they're like, what? It was funny. And turns out they're shutting down the Christmas division. So that's where you get this layers, because you have what's happening. You have a Christmas story of the bad men of business coming in, shutting down the Christmas movie at the same time that they're making a Christmas movie about the business shutting down the cupcake, you know, and so that's what made it funny, is these like layers.
Yeah, how the two kind of sync up. I thought it was really, really clever. Yeah, and really smart. But I really like the supporting characters, the actors in the movie.
Yeah, they were good too,
right?
Yeah, the actors were really funny. So you had Riley Dandy playing Ashley and Zach Steiner playing Michael. And Michael is like just this totally conceited movie star, and he has this like evidently open marriage with his wife or whatever, or if I can't remember if it was wife or fiance, but anyway, open relationship. And Ashley, she's your lead that's always in an elf costume the whole whenever we see her.
And I love the review, right? Because I was wondering like, how is she going to set with like a you know, a tank top and shorts, right? And then after that, I see how they layer it on with the coat. It was so funny. I was like, oh my god, that's
instead
hilarious.
of like a full turtleneck, you have like one of those half, you know what I mean? Yeah. And like the tuxedo and stuff is the shirt is like open on the sides. Yeah, it was so funny. And the guy comes out and he's like, I love your part on Euphoria. Don't let a fragile male ego rob you of an incredible performance. It was really good.
The actors really sold it, right? Like they were so like convincing. Like, you know, because it's like there's the acting in the movie, and then but they're also like reflecting their own like characters,
and like I said,
and everything.
Yeah, and like I said, Rena was really funny. She says her perfectionism gets in the way, and they're all like, "Oh, ooh, somebody actually said it." And then he says, "Well, what?" Because she's trying to get him to go. She's trying to get her to go to this dinner with this guy, and that's coming in to try to fix it. And he says, "Well, what if I murder him at dinner? Then you'd be making one of the network's thrillers."
Yeah. And then when they're eating dinner, they have the fireplace radio.
Yes.
I just laughed at that. I was like, oh, that's funny. Yeah,
because they eat dinner on set, and and they have not only the lights for the fireplace, but they have like the like Spotify fireplace sounds up.
Yeah, it didn't even occur to me like, this is July, this is summer. Why would there be a fireplace? I'm like so attuned, right, to these Christmas movies that I'm just like, yeah, that's normal. So that's really funny. Yeah, that was really funny.
Yeah. And he's like, well, this budget for this movie is very confusing, and then she finds out that he went to Princeton. And again, another funny joke from Rena when she's like, he's a prince, this is a Rome.
It's a double, right? It's a double. You get
He's secretly a prince. It's a double whammy. Yeah. You have all of these things with the dog where they're looking for the dog, and that was another chance to show off the Warner Brothers lot. It was fun, like racing all over, and have you seen and he has this special dog whistle that he does. The heart of
Oh,
my, and she says that they have this whole conversation about if that's all it took, then Die Hard would be a Christmas movie. And he says that is literally the best Christmas movie.
yeah.
Do you agree? Where do you stand on Die Hard? Christmas movie or not Christmas movie?
Um, it depends on what your. I mean,
I mean,
it's set.
you personally,
Me
with your
personally,
definition, what do you say?
sure.
I say yes. Any movie that has ho ho ho, you know the rest, counts as a Christmas
Well,
movie.
I mean, yeah, he's trying to take down as an antagonist. He's trying to save Christmas or save things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I say, why not? If it gives you joy during the Christmas season, then go for it. Who cares?
Yeah.
Anyway, so then they have this whole idea of like making keto cupcakes in the movie, as like, again, we're talking layers here because the keto cupcakes aren't like true Christmas cupcakes, and so it's not working within the story. But it's also like them making her use keto cupcakes is also ruining her story. So there's like, again, two layers. You got the movie not working. You've got her movie life not working.
Yeah.
That's why Rena is very concerned about this.
Yeah.
And then when so we think it's his fiance shows up, and she's like, oh, this is perfect. The snobby fiance shows up in the movie. Played by Missy Pyle, and she was hilarious. She did a great job.
Yeah.
She was so funny.
She's always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ashley, she was so funny. She was like, do you want me to cry on command when I hang the ornament? I can cry on command.
Yeah, and she looked like she could. She could. Oh my god. Yeah, she was really good.
Yes. And then she's talking and she says, I don't have a storyline. This is my life and it's falling apart. We get Michael saying showmances don't count as cheating. And I'm sure people that are actually in these movies are like, oh, there's no showmances. There's almost never happen.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So Christopher's told that he has to shut them down. And he says it's not too late to change them with cupcakes made with love. And so then there's this whole like montage of them making the cupcakes, and then they get and them trying to figure everything out, that if they can maybe get the church to help them, his nephew and his nephew's friends, and but then they think it's not going to work. But Ashley uses her 400K followers, but then the paperwork didn't go through with the church. How can I get the network to reconsider Christmas movies if this looks like a joke? And she's like, I ruined Christmas.
I was thinking that maybe she shouldn't have gotten the $800 costume. I think that may have helped.
Oh, that tipping point. Yeah. Well, then Rena was like, we need to follow the formula. You need to confront your character flaw. Because her character flaw is not doing things with enough heart, I guess. It's just kind of going through the motions. And she says it's about love.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And they have statues as children. That was really funny. Because they do that. You know they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she goes to talk to Teresa, which is the ex-wife, Missy Pyle character. Is there something in your life that made you hate Christmas? It was taken away from you, but I can give it back to you.
Yeah.
So then they decide to make her the singer for the town, and that warms her over, and they decide to give the budget and everything. Logic doesn't save Christmas. Love saves Christmas. So good. So funny.
Good. Yeah.
So then, Teresa changes her mind about Christmas movies. Says, this is where I want to plant my flag. And they find out, oh, it's not actually, Teresa is not actually his wife. Then and Rena is like, that's a classic romantic misunderstanding.
I knew that basically there had to be some kind of like text typo or something, because
Yeah.
there was no way, right? Like they can't like magic away a wife. Like
Right.
that's
Yeah.
like not great.
Yeah, he meant his work wife when he said that, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous. But that's all part of the fun. It's the part of makes it funny. But it's I guess you can't contain the Christmas magic because it starts snowing in Los Angeles. For real.
Yeah.
So this was
I mean,
really enjoyable. It's interesting because, like I said, it was very similar to Lights Camera Christmas, which I
yeah.
really enjoyed as well. And I think I gave that a 4.5. So I think
Wow.
I have to give this also a 4.5. I think it's at least as good, if not better. Yeah, I really laughed a lot. And so I don't know. I'd give it a high
Yeah.
score.
I think it's really funny. I think it's
Yeah.
really funny.
Mhm.
I wonder if they had a similar kind of conversation. Maybe like Warner Brothers is like, do we want to really invest in Christmas movies when
Yeah.
like Hallmark and like Lifetime have such a right hold on
Yeah.
them, right? And I don't know, it's so funny that they're like, here you go, it's a Christmas movie, so
I would love to
yeah.
hear the backstory on it. Maybe I'll have to have the writer on one of these days. I'd like to have Rena on too, because she was great. It was very
Yeah,
funny.
she's really
So
funny.
what would you give it?
I think it's on. Oh God, I have to keep changing up my score. So okay, I'll put A Christmas Mystery at 4. This one at 4.25, and then Holiday Harmony. I guess I'll move it up to like a 4.3.
5-0?
Okay, 4.5,
Okay.
4.5. Yeah. That it's
Good.
the one that I enjoyed the most
Most.
out of all the 3.
They're so
Yeah.
different. It's really hard to compare the 3.
Yeah.
They're very, very different, but I thought they were all really good. And
Yes.
and so yeah, there we go. That's the 3 movies. So let us know what you think of these movies. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section or on Twitter. And Natasha, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter, at Lit My Soul. You can also read my stuff on culturedvouchers.com. We do film. Unfortunately, my review of Holiday Harmony is not on there, but I do review Christmas stuff, so you can check that out. And we do like games, wrestling, TV, books, and lots of good stuff. So check us out. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Don't look at our Facebook because we have no access to it right now. So if anybody can help us out with that, we sure appreciate it. But all the other social media, you can find us at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast. And then if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That really helps us a lot. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is really fun. We have watch-alongs and we have weekly AFI Passions reviews for the patrons. A lot of fun stuff. So check it out. I think you'll really be glad you did. And then we have our merch store where you can get all kinds of fun Hallmark inspired and holiday inspired designs. And perfect for your Christmas shopping this season. So thanks so much for taking a look at that. And thank you, Natasha. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Hi.